Welcome to the channel and welcome to 8th edition Warhammer 40k. It's Raven Guard versus Death Guard. In this battle report we return to Babington 9. This is a non-Imperial world in the Orpheus sector, a world that is clean and pristine, and Grandfather Nurgle has decided that it is ripe for his blessing. So he has sent my Death Guard warband, the end of all things, to this place, to despoil this city, to despoil this planet. And the Raven Guard, a Raven Guard company, were in the sector. They received the hails for help, transmissions, SOSs, and the battle barge has diverted to this place to take on the end of all things. So this game is about dominating and destroying the enemy. So fittingly enough, we're using the Dominate and Destroy mission from the chapter approved book. Long story short, 6 objectives on the table, a couple here, I think there's 3 up the middle and 2 on that side of the battle grid. It's Dawn of War deployment. I'm going to be deploying on this side, Raven Guard on that side. And the way this works is, as well as Slay the Warlord, First Blood and Linebreaker, you get a point for every single unit you destroy, and you get a point if you control an objective at the end of your turn. So if you're on this objective and this objective, you'll get 2 points at the end of your turn, as well as points for killing the enemy. So we're going to be racking up points as we go, essentially trying to tear chunks out of each other to dominate and destroy this battle grid. Dominate and destroy each other. This battle grid, each other. And as we can see, Babington 9, this part of the city, it's got lots of large line of sight, blocking terrain all over the place. Plenty of areas for those sneaky Raven Guard to come in from the right and the left and all over, outflanking as they do. And I'm using the Death Guard. Only the 3rd time with the Death Guard. Hope to remember some more of the rules for them, such as plague weapons or death to the false emperor. 2,000 point game. I'm actually a little bit conflicted because I really like the Raven Guard. So if I win, yay. And if the Raven Guard win, then the Imperium wins, yay. And joining me this day is Nick. Say hi, Nick.
Hi.
And Nick's come all the way down from London. First time on the channel, bringing his absolutely stunning Raven Guard army with him. So let's go and have a check out these armies. This is 1,989 points worth of Death Guard. It's 2 battalion detachments, gives me 9 command points to play with. This is the 1st battalion detachment. It's got 2 malefic plague clusters and 3 units of poxwalkers. Very simple. Both of the sorcerers have Miasma of Pestilence. That's the one where it's -1 to hit friendly units, and Putrescent Vitality, +1 strength, +1 toughness. Both of them the same because it's easier to remember. This is the 2nd battalion detachment. The Brothers Grimm are turning up one more time. 2 Lords of Contagion, but they will not be the warlords today. Instead, a demon prince has turned up, and his name is Fluffy. He'll be getting the Curse of the Leper psychic power. The relic, I'm going to be giving him the Suppurating Plate. That's a 2-up save, and also when he takes wounds in close combat, has a chance to do mortal wounds back again. And I've also given him Revoltingly Resilient, so his 5-up Disgustingly Resilient goes up to a 4-up. Fluffy is a tough dude. That's not his name. His demonic name is long and complicated and hard to say, but all the other Death Guard call him Fluffy to annoy him, and it really annoys him and gets him angry, so that's why it's stuck. Then we have 3 units of 7 Plague Marines. In each unit, the champions have Power Fists. This one has 2 Plasmas. These other units have 2 Blight Launchers, and the champions have got Plasmas. 2 of the Bloat Drones, 2 Rhinos, and 2 Plague Burst Crawlers with Entropy Cannons. For long-range Dakka, which I don't think I'll need very much of, because having seen Nick's list, it's going to be a slugfest. He's going to be coming in fast and hot. So, 2,000 points worth of Death Guard, lots and lots of bodies on the ground. Everything in this list has got Disgustingly Resilient minus the Rhinos. There is some psychic shenanigans going on here. And it is a full Death Guard list with no Nurgly demon allies to take care of me this time. So, let's go and have a look at the Raven Guard. Right, this is 1,998 points worth of the Sons of Corax, the Sons of Deliverance, the Raven Guard. It's a battalion detachment and a spearhead, Vanguard. I got it wrong already. It's a Vanguard. And leading the charge, who's your warlord?
Warlord for today will be Shrike.
Yes.
He will be coming in with his lieutenant.
Yes.
They will be forming part of the HQs for the Vanguard detachment.
Nice.
Also in the Vanguard detachment, we have 2 Reaver squads.
Yes.
Both with grapnel launchers and combat knives.
Okay.
To fill out the compulsory slots for that, we have the aggressors down the front.
Yep.
This is a full unit of 6.
6. So a lot of Dakar.
Especially if they don't move.
All their guns are strength 4, right?
Correct.
But it does chuck out a terrible amount of firepower, and if they don't move, they fire twice.
Correct.
Nice.
So
I like it.
72 plus 12d6 shots.
72 plus if they stand still.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the Vanguard detachment.
Yes.
In the battalion detachment, we have Primaris Captain with a Stalker bolt rifle.
Nice.
And a Lieutenant with a Stalker bolt rifle to his left.
Okay.
We've got 2 5-man intercessor squads.
Yes.
With auxiliary grenade launchers on the sergeants.
Okay.
We've got 2 scout squads with bolters and combi melter on the sergeants.
Yep.
Got the snipers at the back with camo cloaks.
Yep.
Then we've got 3 heavy support slots. We've got the Hellblasters.
Yep.
Las cannons, Devastators,
Yep.
and a Contemptor Mortis with Kerry's assault cannons and Cyclone missile launcher.
Okay, so there is some long-range Dakar on the devs here. These guys, these are 30-inch range rapid fire, right? These are the plasma incinerators. Yep. And the missile launcher on the
36-inch frag or crack.
It's long enough. And his Stalker pattern bolt thing is heavy, 36-inch range, AP -2, 2 damage. So he's probably going to be staying at the back with the long-range stuff.
Same with the lieutenant as well.
Yeah. So Raven Guard chapter tactics. It's -1 to hit them if they're more than 12 inches away. And you can spend some stratagems to allow them to deep strike before the game begins, right?
Correct, yes.
You told me already that you're going to be spending some stratagems to do that.
Maybe.
So they could be very close, very up in my grill. High body count. I think you've got 15 things in your army. I've got 17 units in my army because we're going to be getting a point each for every single unit that we kill. But the Sons of Deliverance are here. Will they able to bring deliverance to the end of all things? And we're deployed for this 2,000 point game of Dominate and Destroy. Shrike is hurtling down. He can deep strike in along with his lieutenant. Is that a lieutenant?
Yep.
With a jump pack. And both of the units of Reavers are in reserve, along with the unit of aggressors with all the Dakar, paying 3 command points for strike from the shadows. Essentially what this means is after we determine who goes first, these 3 units will deploy anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from an enemy, and then they're free to move and do whatever it is that Raven Guard do. So we have some intercessors holding down this flank, some intercessors holding down that flank, and Hellblasters and Devastators here. Currently, the Raven Guard control 2 objectives, this one and this one. So there'll be 2 points at the end of their turn, and there's another objective quite clearly there. The scouts are up this side of the battlefield, ready to heed the orders from Shrike, and then the end of all things deployed all the way across the line. I've overloaded on this side. There's 2 units of 7 Plague Marines and both of those Rhinos, with both of the Malefic Plague Casters and the Fetid Bloat Drone there. Quite overloaded on this side. And I've only got 2 objectives, or 1 objective I think. There's 1 here and 1 there. So I need to get to these 2. I've already got that one. Then the other thing I did was Plague Burst Crawlers spread out right and left. Fluffy is within his aura of these 2 things because they only hit on 4s. So that Demon Prince will allow them to reroll 1s. They're also heavy weapons. So as soon as I move, hitting on 5s. And Raven Guard more than 12 inches away, -1 to hit. Hitting on 6s. Basically what I'm saying is I'm probably not going to be reaching out and touching them anytime soon. Some Plague Marines here. And then we have Poxwalkers spread all the way down. Unit of 10, unit of 15, unit of 15. Basically, Poxwalkers anchoring the left flank, Plague Marines anchoring the right flank. 2 objectives here, 2 objectives there, and 2 objectives in the Raven Guard deployment zone. Really don't know how this one is going to go. I know that there's going to be a lot of the Sons of Korax, Sons of Deliverance coming at me very, very quickly. And I'm not sure how the end of all things are going to be able to repel borders. We shall find out. But before we do, we need to find out who goes first. So, I beat you to deployment because I was able to put some stuff in Rhinos. So we're going to do the chapter approved thingy. This is in the rules. You roll a dice. I've got 1 to this dice roll. So if you could roll first. And if you roll a... You've got a 2. Let's see what I get. 5 plus 1 is 6. I guess I'm going to be going first, unless you want to try and steal from me.
Always.
Stealing. Stealing happening. Need to roll a 6.
Uh-oh.
And that's a 6. Raven Guard will be going first and deploying everywhere. And now here we are after deployment, because the Raven Guard have deployed from the shadows. We have a unit of Reavers here. The aggressor's there. So on this objective already, that's 3 objectives controlled by the Raven Guard and a unit of Reavers on this side. Reavers flanking right and left of the battle grid. And this is before the first turn begins. So then these guys are going to move up, and they're definitely going to be in charge range in turn 1, as will this unit. And Shrike as well will be jumping down from the shadows. Shrike's Warlord trait allows him to reroll charge, and any units with jump packs can reroll the charge. And the Lieutenant, who's hurtling down through the skies as well, has some relic. What's it called again?
The Raven's Fury.
The Raven's Fury, Raven Guard specific relic, which allows him to advance and charge and reroll charge. So yeah, I've got to put on my big boy pants as we go on to Raven Guard, turn 1. Here we are after the movement phase. Reavers moving up on the right and the left flank. Intercessors jumping over the wall to catch that objective, and the Contempt to moving forward. Shrike and the Lieutenant have jumped in as well. Shrike's Warlord trait actually is you can't overwatch him. He just has a natural ability which allows him to reroll charges, and he can reroll charges. So lots and lots of first turn charges coming up here. This is going to be brutal. Let alone the fact that these guys have stood still, so they're going to be firing twice with a crazy amount of firepower. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Opening up hostilities, the snipers are picking on Fluffy. 5 sniper rounds coming in, hitting on 3s. And that's pretty good. Are you within 6 inches of Shrike? I think you are.
Just.
Yep, so re-rolling the 1s. And it's strength 4, toughness high. You're wounding on 5s, but any 6s cause mortal wounds.
Rerolling 1s.
Rerolling 1s, yep. So that's a wound. He has the suppurating plate, so it's a 2-up save. And I don't know what that is. That was a 5. After that, las cannon devastators firing across into the plague burst crawler. Yeah, and there's the Captain Lieutenant combo there for re-rolling hit rolls of 1, re-rolling wound rolls of 1. So Signum first, shall we?
Yep, Signum first, hitting on 2.
Yes, that's a hit.
Toughness?
Toughness is 8.
So 3s.
3s to wound. He has a 5-up invulnerable save. He's a demonic engine. No, D6 damage. That's 5. 5 disgustingly resilience. He takes 3 wounds straight away. And then you've got 3 more coming in. 3s to hit. And 3s to wound. 1 wound. 1 5-up demonic. Nope. And D6 damage. What'd you get? What'd you get?
5.
It's a 5. 5 more disgustingly resilience. How many have we taken so far? 3.
Mm-hmm.
3. Ooh. And wow. He's only taken 3. Weathering the storm of those devastators. Crawler is down to 9 wounds remaining, but now the missiles from the Contemptor are going to rain into him. Okay, what are you firing first?
Missiles?
Missiles. Normally hitting on 2s, but they're heavy, so you're hitting on 3s. And 1 hit. Strength 8, toughness 8.
These are crack missiles, by the way.
Yeah, of course. And that's a wound, and he has a 5-up demonic, which I make. And then lots and lots of shots with the Carrier's Assault Cannons. Carrier's Assault Cannons hitting on 3s. There's heavy 6, just like I say, it's normal assault cannons, re-rolling those 1s, yeah. But they're strength 7 rather than strength 6. Strength 7 versus toughness 8, though, is still winning on 5s. And you get 2, only 2. But re-rolling 1s, was there any 1s?
There's no 1s.
It's minus 1 AP, so the 3-up of the Plague Burst Crawler becomes a 4-up. And I make both of them as well. Oh dear. After the Contemptor, the Hellblasters were out of range of this Plague Burst Crawler here. So Hellblasters went into the Poxwalkers, as did the Intercessors and the Captain Lieutenant combo. Lots of shots from those castles there coming into the Poxwalkers. It's a shame that he could only fire at them, but them's the breaks. That's the only thing that was in range. And I lost 3, making lots of disgustingly resilient resolve saves there. Then across to the Reavers, chucking a shock grenade into the Poxwalkers. And that's a hit?
That's how many shots.
Oh,
so
okay.
3 shots.
3 shots, nice.
And then if this hits,
yes.
No overwatch, and
Okay, so
minus
that's
1 in the fight phase. So that's a hit.
okay.
That's it resolved. Then we've
So
got bolt pistols.
is that it doesn't damage or anything
No.
like that?
No, just,
no. So
it's
no
shot
Overwatch.
rating.
They don't have any Overwatch anyway, but it's -1 for them to hit you in the fight phase.
Correct.
I need some Reavers. That's good, because these guys hit on like 5s anyway. So now they're hitting on 6s.
9 bolt pistols.
Okay, 3s to hit, and these are bolt pistols. So strength.
Strength 4 -1 AP. They're
Nice.
heavy bolt pistols.
Nice.
So that's
4 wounds. I don't have a save other than disgustingly resilient, and I lose 3 more poxwalkers. Then from here over to the other side of the battle grid, the intercessors firing the auxiliary crack grenade into the fetid bloat drone and the bolt rifles into these poxwalkers. What we firing first?
grenade launcher.
Nice.
So hitting on 3, misses.
Okay.
And then 4 shots from the bolt rifles.
Yes.
3 hits.
3 hits. Yep. 3s to
3
wound.
1 wound.
1 wound. 5 up DG, and I make it. The SN battle report logo is a 6. Right, down to the Reavers. Chucking a crack grenade this time into a Rhino. Hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Strength 6, toughness 7. Doesn't wound. And then a bunch of bolt pistols going into what? The bloat drone?
The Rhino itself.
The Rhino as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So
3s to hit. And then 5s to wound. Your dice rolling has sucked so far.
it has a little bit. There's 1.
3 up. And I save that as well.
Okay.
I think the last thing left to fire is this big frightening group here.
Mm-hmm.
Right, looking for first blood. The aggressors are firing a lot of firepower into the bloat drone. So they stand still, so they fire their guns twice. And they're re-rolling the hit rolls because of Shrike, just re-rolling the hit everything. He's a chapter master, and re-rolling wound rolls of 1 because of the lieutenant there. So after rolling their 12d6 shots as well as their guns, it turns out they've got 116 shots coming up into the bloat drone, re-rolling everything to hit because Shrike is a captor master, and re-rolling wound rolls of 1. Right, in the end, 104 hits. So this is 52 wounds coming up. Wounded on 5s, strength 4, toughness 7, wounded on 5s, and re-rolling 1s because of the lieutenant. Right, that was 17 wounds with the re-roll. That was only half of them. Let's try and save them. 3 up save. He's probably dead already. Let's do the re-rolls. And then this is my disgustingly resilience. Oh no, maybe not. 6. You've done 6 so far. And 52 more coming up. Ouch. And that was 23 wounds. I've got 23 wounds to save. I've got 4 wounds left. 3 up save. Oh dear. 9 failed. 9 disgustingly resilient saves to make. Can that bloat drone stay alive? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, just perfectly out for 116 shots. You just killed him with not 1 wound to spare. And he'll blow up on a 4. And he explodes. And everything within 6 inches takes a mortal wound. So each unit within 7 inches suffers a mortal wound. So that's 1 off the Rhino, 1 off the Rhino, 1 off this unit of Plague Marines who have a 5 up disgustingly resilient. And 1 of them dies. And then 1 wound on a thingy-bob on a Reaver. And it looks like this when we're done, and that's first blood and the first point, because remember, we're adding up points for every unit wiped out. That's the end of the shooting phase. Now we've got the charge phase. Then after the charge phase, Reavers made it into this Rhino here. Shrike and the Lieutenant tried to charge the Plague Marines. You don't need line of sight to charge, but you do need line of sight to overwatch, so I couldn't overwatch. Unfortunately, Shrike didn't make that 9-inch charge, even with a reroll. But the Lieutenant did. He is within an inch of those Plague Marines there. And then the Reavers managed to make it into close combat on this side of the battle grid. So we have fights erupting all the way across the line. Right, starting off the fight phase, Lieutenant firing first. Normally hits on 2s, but he's hitting on 3s because he's got a big hammer. And he hits twice. He's strength 8, toughness 5, so he's winning on 3s. Rerolling 1s, yeah, that's true.
Lieutenant.
And they both wound. It's -3 AP a hammer, so I need 6s. And I make 1, and it does a flat 3 damage. So 1 Plague Marine needs to make 3 5-ups. And I rolled 4 dice. Anyway, 1 Plague Marine is snagged. And then the Reaver's piling into both of the Rhinos here. All of them will get into combat. Even though he snagged both, he's putting all of them on 1 Rhino, trying to take it out. Reavers have 3 attacks each. The Sergeant has an extra one, so that's 31 attacks coming in on this Rhino. Hitting on 3s. And you'll be wounding on 5s. That's a healthy amount of hits though. And when you'll be re-rolling hit wound rolls of 1 because you are within 6 inches of the lieutenant there. Right, 5s to wound. You know what, it's re-rolling those ones. It'll be more useful if Reavers could have a power fist or something in there.
I agree.
Okay, so how many have we got? That was 13 wounds on the Rhino, which has a 3-up save. And he fails a bunch of them. They did 5 damage. They done good. And now we're over to this unit of Reavers versus the Poxwalkers. I think this is going to be a foregone conclusion. I'd tell a lie, these Poxwalkers are going to survive because that was awful. After rolling to hit and rolling to wound, you only got 7 wounds in. 7 disgustingly resilience coming up. And I make 2 of them, so these Reavers only take out 4 Poxwalkers. Then the Poxwalkers swung back, 5 of them there, doing nothing at all. The Rhinos swing back at the Reavers, doing nothing at all. And then the Plague Marines busting through the wall. We're now going to smack the Lieutenant. So 4 normal Plague Marines hitting on 3s. And wounding on 4, strength 4, toughness 4. And re-rolling 1s because of Plague Knives. So that's only 1 wound. And doesn't do anything. And then there's the champion with the fist. He'll be hitting on 4s. And they both hit. He will be wounding on 2. Strength 8, toughness 4. Both wound. -3 AP. So you need 2 6s. And you make 1 of them like a boss. You make both of them like a boss. And with the Lieutenant standing strong, with the might of the Emperor on his side, that is the end of Raven Guard. Turn 1. They currently control 4 objectives down this side of the battle grid. They've got immense amount of ball control, so that's 4 points. And they killed the bloat drone and got first blood, so it is 6 points to 0 as we go on to Death Guard. Turn 1. Here we are after the Death Guard movement phase, and I'm sorry, Nick, that was the longest movement phase ever. About 3 hours later, we're finally here. But you've boxed me into a corner. Lots and lots of bad decisions, really. Bad decisions on bad decisions. Essentially, 2 units of Plague Marines and the Sorcerers in these Rhinos, and I couldn't get everything out because I'm worried about them going boom. 1 unit of Plague Marines got out through the wall 3 inches and have come forward here, and the Sorcerer is up there, and the other one is there. And this one has moved around, giving me enough room to get the Plague Marines out next turn and blocking off the consolidation into hit. Long story short, I'm trapped and I've got to try and shove my way out of there in a couple of turns, and I have to do something about this horrific amount of firepower. So I've got 4 on this side of the wall that I'll be able to shoot them, and the Brothers Grimm dropped in this side, try and get a 9-inch charge that way as well, and the Poxwalkers making their way forward, and if they have to charge in or try and tie up Shrike, I will do that. The Plague Burst Crawlers staying still because they hit on 5s if they move. This unit breaking out of combat, and the other unit of Poxwalkers coming around the side here to go wheeling in on the Reavers along with the fetid bloat drone. Basically, I'm stuck. I'm trapped. I need to fight my way out of there. There's multiple units to hack through. And the 2 Laws of Contagion need to do some real work to sow some chaos in the backfield. Psychic Phase. Casting Miasma of Pestilence on these guys here. I need something. That is a fail. And let's do Psychic Shriek as well. I want to say Psychic Shriek. What is it called? Smite. That's the one. And that's a Perils. So spending my first command point to reroll one of these ones. And that's a failed psychic test. Well done, guys. Brilliant. Right, let's move on to this Sorcerer. Smiting away. And that fails as well. So all 3 psychic powers failing over there. And finally onto Fluffy. The closest unit in line of sight and range is those Reavers. I need a 5. And finally, I get... And that passes. You've got no psychic defense up that side of the battlefield. So this will do D3 mortal wounds. And do 1 mortal wound to a Reaver, and that's it. That was disappointing. Right, spending another command point for Veterans of the Long War, putting it on this unit, shooting at the aggressors. There are 2 blight launchers and the sergeant with his rapid fire plasma gun. You're within 12, so I don't get some minuses to hit. So let's fire everything. Here is the bolt gun, hitting on 3s. 1 hit, and it's strength 4, toughness 5. It would be wounding on 5s, but with veterans it's +1, so wounding on 4s. And I don't wound. Let's do the rapid fire plasma gun. I'm overcharging, not because I should, but because it's 10,000 years old. We're Death Guard. It overcharges all the time. Hitting on 3s. And he's dead. My sergeant's dead. Let's re-roll that with another command point. He's not dead. Strength 8, toughness 5, wounding on 3s, up to 2s with veterans. And that's a wound at -3 AP. You need a 6. You don't get a 6, that's 2 damage, killing one of them. And then the 2 blight launchers hitting on 3s. Everything hits. These are strength 6, toughness 5, so it would be wounding on 3s, but wounding on 2s with veterans. 3 wounds at -2, so 3, 5 ups. And you make 1, and this does D3 damage. And kills another one. So that's 2 of these aggressors dead. On to the Plague Burst Crawler, just within 6 inches of Fluffy there, go in at the aggressors. I've got 2 entropy cannons, hitting on 5s, because you're more than 12 inches away, 1 hit. This is strength 8, wounding on a 3, doesn't wound. The heavy slugger on the front there has got 4 shots, hitting on 5s. And 2 hits, it's strength 5, so I'm wounding on 4s. I get a wound, it's -1.
4 up. That's fine.
You save, and then the Plague Burst Mortar is D6 shots. And that's 4 shots, hitting on 5s. 2 hits, and strength 8, so I'm wounding on 3s. And that's 1 wound. I don't know what the minuses.
-1.
Oh, and it's re-rolling 1s because it's a plague weapon. So, nope. Minus what? -2?
-2.
Okay, so it's 5 up save, which you make. Right, let's do the same with the other one. I can see because of the top of the weapon there, looking down. Okay, so 2 entropy cannons, rinse and repeat. 3s to hit. Sorry, 5s to hit. What am I talking about? The heavy slugger, 5s to hit. Re-rolling 1s because of Fluffy. And this is strength 5, so 4s to wound. Does a wound, 4 up save, which it takes a wound, and then D6 shots with the Plague Burst Mortar. 4 shots hitting on 5s. 3 hits, that's not bad. 3s to wound, re-rolling 1s. So 2 wounds at -2, so 2 5 ups.
One, well,
Save,
yeah.
and the second one saves. Okay, so your shooting was atrocious, but your saving has been awesome. Alright, the only thing left to fire is the 2 Plague Spitters into this squad of Reavers here. Assault D6 times 2, so that's 5 shots. And these are strength user, so I'm winning on 3s right now because my strength is 6. Everything wounds. Everything wounds. 5 wounds at -1. And 1 Reaver dies.
No, that's 1 dead and 1 on 1 wound.
And that's the end of my shooting phase. Underwhelming. I killed a Reaver, killed a couple of aggressors. That's it. So let's do some charges now. Poxwalkers into Shrike. Let's see if I can get there. 8. They'll get there. Does he have an Overwatch? And the Poxwalkers end up there, losing one of their number to a crack grenade as I come in on Overwatch. And now this unit is going to charge in at Shrike and the aggressors. They actually... Yeah, because I haven't piled in yet. So you will get to Overwatch my...
You're within an inch though.
No, so let's just declare a charge on him. I won't be able to hit the aggressors. The Poxwalkers I'll have to hit Shrike even if I pile into them. But let's do that. Let's attack Shrike. And I will get in. And round here, the Poxwalkers will be charging in as well. And the Poxwalker's got a nice 11-inch charge. You're losing 1 to their number on Overwatch as well. Getting all the way around here. I did it that way so the bloat drone could get in as well. But he got 3 inches for a charge. So he failed a charge, which was appalling. And now one of the Brothers Grimms need to survive a terrible amount of Overwatch to make it in to the aggressors. Right, that was 72 shots on Overwatch, hitting on 6s, re-rolling because of Shrike, and you got 26 hits? 26 hits, wounding on 5s, because it's strength 4 versus toughness 5. 5 wounds. I have 5 2-up saves to make, and a disgustingly resilient, and he takes a wound. But more importantly, I need a 9-inch charge. That's an 8. So command point this, and it's a 1 in 3 chance of getting in there. What the hell? Let's do it. 1 in 3 chance of getting in there. And he is in. Okay, so starting off the fight phase, I'm going to pile in with this unit of Plague Marines because I'm worried about Nick spending 2 command points and smacking me first. Right, the Lord of Contagion has the Nurgle's gift rule. It starts at the start of your turn, not the start of the fight phase we just checked. And so there's 5 normal Plague Marines hitting Shrike. I need 3s to hit him. And that 6 explodes, death to the false Emperor. So that's 5 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4, wounding on 4s, and it's a plague weapon. So I've got 3 wounds. Shrike only has a 3-up save, and he takes a wound. And now the Power Fist goes smashing in there, and it hits twice, and death to the false Emperor, so I get another attack. That's 3 hits with the fist, and strength 8, toughness 4. I'll be winning on 2s. You need 4 Iron Halo saves, 3 Iron Halo saves, my friend.
3 4-ups.
And you only make 1. Do you want a command point?
I will command point.
Spend 1 precious command point. No. So Shrike is going to have to take 2 D3 wounds, and he's only got 5. But he's uninjured so far, right?
He took 1.
Oh yeah, he's took 1 already. You're right. So 4 to get through, 2 D3. Are we going to slay the Warlord? Yes, we are. That's 6 wounds. Shrike, Chapter Master of the Raven Guard, falls. Now Nick's spending 2 command points to interrupt the fight phase, turning around and attacking my Lord of Contagion with the aggressors. Basically, after seeing their Chapter Master get smashed apart in front of them, they are angry and they are going to fight back. Right, the Sergeant and 2 of them smacking the Lord of Contagion, 1 of them smacking the Plague Marines. What are we doing first?
Plague Marines squad first,
yep.
on 4s.
Because they're Power Fist, essentially. Yeah, strength 8, toughness 5, 3s to wound. 1 wound, 1 6-up save, which I fail, and it does D3 mortal wounds, right? It is a Power Fist.
D3 damage.
D3 damage.
For 1.
1, I need to make it disgustingly resilient, which I don't. 1 of the Plague Marines dies, and now the rest go on the Lord of Contagion. 4s to hit because they're fists. 2 hits. Strength 8, toughness 5, 3s to wound. And I've got a 4-up Cataphracti save, so 2 saves to make, and I failed them both. 2d3 damage. Can you hit me back? Right, so that's 4 disgustingly resilient. Fortunately, I have 5 wounds, so it isn't going to kill me. And I make 2 of them. The Lord of Contagion drops 2 wounds, down to 3. Now the Lord of Contagion strikes back. He's got 4 attacks. He hits on 2s with his Plague Reaper. They all hit. It's strength... it's death to the false Emperor as well. Thank you very much. 5 hits. Nasty. It's strength 6. And their toughness 5. So I'm wounding on 3s. And that's 4 wounds. And the Plague Reaper's -3. -3. And it does... Yep, 4 6-ups. And you make 1 of them. And it does 3 damage apiece. That weapon is brutal. So they have 2 wounds each, an aggressor. Wounds don't spill over, killing all of them, bar 1. Then the Poxwalkers pile in closer. 1 of them now objective securing that objective there. They can't strike him because I didn't declare he was a target of my charge. And now we're coming out all the way over to these Poxwalkers here. Now they're going to be hitting on 5s against them. And wounding on 5s because I'm strength. I could spend Special Veterans of the Long War again. Yeah, let's do that. They're spending another command point because they do have the death card keyword. So instead of wounding on 5s, I will be wounding on 4s. I've got 28 attacks, 2 attacks each, hitting on 5s. And that was awful. 7 hits, Nurgle's number. So now wounding on 4s. And that's 4 wounds. So you've got 4 3-up saves. Ooh, failing 3. 1 of them was already on a wound. So I think 2 of them die. Yeah, 2 of them died. Then Curse of the Walking Pox kicks in. Because 2 enemies died in close combat, I have 2 Poxwalkers as they turn into zombies. Nice stuff. So I started off with 15 in that unit. I've got 16 now, and the fights are still not over. We've got this one versus the Lieutenant. So there's 4 normal Plague Marines there. They hit on 3s. They all hit and they wound on 4s with Plague Weapons. So that does 3 wounds, 3 3-up saves on the Lieutenant. He takes a wound, and then Power Fists. 1 hit, and that's a 6, so explodes, Death to the False Emperor. 2 hits. Wounding on 2s, 2 wounds, 2 6-up saves. Can he boss it this time? No, he cannot. 2d3 damage. That is 4 damage. That is a dead Lieutenant. Those Plague Marines fight their way out of combat. Now we have the Rhinos. And the Rhinos did nothing. Now we've got the Reavers fighting back here and the Reavers fighting back there. After rolling the hit and the wound, the Reavers got 7 hits on this Rhino. It has a 3-up save. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 1 wound left. So the Rhino is smoking, it's steaming, it's still alive. Then the Reavers piling in there. I think you've got 5 in combat, but the Sergeant isn't. So these are all hitting on 3s. That's a lot of 1s. How many 1s did you roll? 3s to wound. No save, just disgustingly resilient, a 5-up. And I make 4 of them. I'm sorry. So I killed 2 of your guys, making 2 Poxwalkers, and then they roid out and turn around and smack 2 of them back again into the dust, and that's that. Then we're on to the morale phase. Basically, don't roll a 6, and you can re-roll because of Damnation, no fear. You're fine. Where else? The only thing left are these aggressors, really. You lost 5. He will be fleeing. Yeah, you've got to re-roll. He's definitely dead. Interesting. So that's the end of Death Guard. Turn 1. What did I do? I killed Shrike and I killed the aggressors, so that's 2 points. And slay the Warlord, 3 points. And kill the Lieutenant, 4 points. And I'm controlling that objective, 5 points. And this objective, 6 points. Is it 6 points to 6?
It is.
That surprises the crap out of me. I thought I was done for. I thought it was all over, but the making that charge and getting in there and killing Shrike and Shrike failing his charge in turn 1, I think that could be game changing. However, that does leave me open to snipers and contemptors and las cannons, and let's not forget you still have Reavers on the right flank, Reavers on the left flank. You've still boxed me in here. You still have a lot of assets to call on, and it's only turn 2 for the Imperium. This fight is a long way from over. Let's go on to Raven Guard, turn 2. So the Raven Guard are advancing after losing their chapter master. The entire left flank, or their right flank, has come shoving forward to bring as many guns into bear as they can. Remember, the Hellblasters were out of range of the Plague Burst Crawler last turn, but not this turn. The Captain Lieutenant making sure that their bubble is there. Reroll hit rolls of 1, reroll wound rolls of 1. This guy had to move as well. Originally, Nick stayed still, wanting to put shots into this chap, but he was closer. And so long as there's a unit closer, you can't target the character even though he couldn't see him. You still can't see that one now, but now the Contemptor's moved closer. He is just a whisker. He's about an inch closer to this Lord of Contagion than he is to that Lord of Contagion on the triangle there. So he can shoot into my Lord of Contagion. And the Scout's busting around this way to take on that one. Basically some pressure against the Brothers Grimm in the back line, some shooting up over there. The Reavers are still engaged in combat. This fight has just got dirty. Let's move on to the shooting phase. Snipers firing at the Lord of Contagion, hitting on 3s. And that's pretty good shooting. That's 4 hits, wounding on 5s, however. And no mortal wounds, no wounds caused. Now the Intercessors picking on one of the Brothers Grimm. We have a crack launcher grenade thing.
Yep.
That misses. And then these 4 chaps are all in rapid fire, so that is 8 shots coming in, hitting on 3s. And that's good. 7 out of 8 hits. Strength 4, toughness 5, so wounding on 5s. And that is good as well. That's 3 wounds. It's -1 AP bolt rifles, so I have 3 3-up saves. And I failed 2 of them. 2 disgustingly resilience. And I make one of them, he's down to 5 wounds. Right, next up, the Contemptor Dreadnought firing his assault cannons into this Brother's Grim, and the missile launcher is going into the Plague Burst Crawler in the backfield. So what are we doing first, Nick?
Assault cannons first.
Okay.
So I moved.
Yep.
So it's hitting on 3s.
Yep.
Rerolling 1s.
Yep.
Because of the captain.
Indeed. Okay, that's a good spread of hits. This is strength 7, toughness 5, so 3s to wound, and it's -1.
And I get to reroll those ones too.
Yeah, Lieutenant stood right nearby.
So that's
good. Let me just grab them all. So it's all of these at -1, so 3-up saves. He's only got 3 wounds left. And I make them all. Horus walks with me. Missile launchers streak through the buildings. Both hit. Strength 8, toughness 8 on the Plague Burst Crawler. And bounce off that armour. It stands firm. It's the demonic engine billowing. Contemptor did nothing. Now we've got these scouts firing in. I think this Lord of Contagion's beginning to laugh at you. He remembers the fields of Istvan, and these scouts, they're just puppies. Combi Melter in there as well. Firing first.
that Lord of Contagion.
And it hits. Maybe I shouldn't laugh. And it wounds. Okay, 4-up invulnerable save. Cataphractii Terminator armour. And it fails. This will do D6 damage. 4 damage. He's got 3 wounds left. 4 disgustingly resilience. Was he laughing too soon? Yes, he was. He is dead. Then all the bolter shots from the scouts going into his dead corpse. They were shouting back at him, "You may have survived the fields of Istvan, but you will not survive the sons of deliverance." On from these scouts to these scouts firing into the Plague Marines. Combi Melter coming up. And that misses. And then bolt gun death. Or have they got bolt pistols?
Bolt guns.
They got bolt guns. Nice. 3s to hit.
Rapid fire.
Not so nice. Strength 4, toughness 5. So 5s to wound. And that, yeah, okay, that's good. 3 wounds. 3 3-up saves. And I make them all. The rotten power armor stands firm, even though it is 10,000 years old. Right, what else are we on to? I think we've done this flank, so we're moving along the line.
Las cannons into the Plague Burst crawler at the back.
Okay, yeah.
Signum first on a 2.
Signum hits.
And then 3 hits on a 3.
Rerolling 1s, yep. So 3 las cannons streak across the battlefield. 3s to wound. Only 1 wound. 5-up demonic save. Doesn't save. D6 damage. And that's 6 damage. That's nice. But Plague Burst Crawlers have disgustingly resilient. And I only make 1. It takes 5 more wounds, dropping it down to 4 remaining. Then the Captain Lieutenant fired in at the Plague Burst Crawler, doing no damage. Moving along the line, now the Hellblasters are overcharging, coming into this Plague Burst Crawler.
Correct.
Okay, so 3s to hit. And there's a couple of 1s, you get to re-roll them. Okay, they all hit. Well done. Strength 8, toughness 8, 4s to wound. And they all wound, wow. It's -4, so I need my 5-up disgustingly resilient. Demonic save. I make 2 of them. 2 damage each because they're overcharged. So 5-up, disgustingly resilient. Only making 1, dropping it from 12 to 6 wounds left. That was effective. Now the Intercessor's trying to blast these Poxwalkers off this objective, hitting on 3s. 4 hits, wounding on 3s. And we have 3 wounds. They have no saves, so just 3 disgustingly resilient. There we go. And I make 1. I make 2. Only 1 dies. Reavers firing pistols at the Rhino while in close combat. 5 hits. And how many wounds? 1 wound. 1 3-up save or it blows up.
4-up because they're -1 AP.
Are they? 1 4-up. And it dies. Does it blow up? Just considering spending a command point to automatically blow up, but it's going to hurt so many of my own guys, so I don't really want it to. And that's a 5, so the Rhino does not blow up. And then these Reavers shot a couple of Poxwalkers. That's it for the shooting phase. Now we're on to the fight phase. Then in the 5-phase, Poxwalkers didn't hurt the Reavers at all, and they dragged down 7 more Poxwalkers, the Reavers. So there's only 4 Poxwalkers left here, still swirling around, still engaging each other in combat. And up this side of the battle grid, these Reavers piled into this Rhino, but couldn't injure it, staying close enough away to prevent the heroic intervention from my malignant Plaguecaster there. No charges declared, just ongoing combats. And that's the end of turn 2 for the Raven Guard. At the end of turn 2 for the Raven Guard, the first Lord of Contagion, the first of the Brothers Grimm, has fallen, and a Rhino. And it currently controls 1, 2, 3 objectives, so that's 5 more points in turn 2, which means the Raven Guard have 11 points, the Death Guard have only 6, as we go on to Death Guard, turn 2. Here we are after the movement phase for the Death Guard, and with the Raven Guard pushing out on this flank, the Death Guard are trying to control this flank. The Malefic Plaguecaster has advanced, the other one is staying still there, and finally this unit are out of their Rhino. That Rhino needs to fall back. Right, Rhinos fall back. Now I can shoot them. And then we've got Plague Marines. Plague Marines all coming up to engage these scouts. The last remaining Cataphracti Terminator Brothers Grimm is coming in for those scouts. There's going to be a lot of dead scouts here. And then there's not a lot of push on the other flank. I got my Poxwalkers out of combat, so this bloat drone can fire in. Anyway, we're going to go on to the Psychic phase now. Hopefully it's a bit better than last turn. Fluffy is going to smite over the top of the wall into those Reavers. And he succeeds. This will do D3 mortal wounds. That's 3 mortal wounds. Plaguecaster number 1 doing -1 to hit, Miasma of Pestilence on this unit of Plague Marines. That passes, so -1 to hit them. That's shooting and assault, and he will smite. Need a 5. That passes. D3 mortal wounds on the Reavers. That's 2 mortal wounds. That's a dead Reaver. And this one has got the Putrescent Vitality, +1 strength or toughness on this unit of Plague Marines. I need a 6. That passes, so they're up to strength 5. And he will smite. And that's a pass on the Reavers. And that's another 2 mortal wounds. Another Reaver dies in close combat. So this smite phase, psychic phase, was a bit more successful than last turn. So on to the shooting phase. 2 Plague Spitters with the Fetid Bloat Drones into these Reavers. And that'll be 9 auto hits. Wounding on 3s. Rerolling 1s because it is a plague weapon. And so that's pretty good actually. That is 8 wounds. And it is -1 on your Reavers. And ouch, 4 wounds in total. Then onto the Blight Hauler. It's at 5 that its profile degrades, so it hasn't degraded yet. And what I'm going to do is, I'm quite worried about those Devastators. So I'm going to fire everything at the Devastators. So it would be hitting on 4s, but now we're hitting on 5s because you're more than 12 inches away. Here's the 2 Entropy Cannons, 5s to hit. Rerolling 1s, because Fluffy is right there. And they both hit. This is strength 8. So 2 wounds and -4 AP. You're in cover, so you need 6s. Nope, and 2 of them die. And then the Heavy Slugger, it's 5 shots. 5 shots. Rot, Hail, whatever it's called. 5 shots. 3 hits, hitting on 5s. And we are wounding on 3s because it's strength 5. I don't know if it's a plague weapon. No, it's not. It's just 1 wound, 2 up save because you're in cover.
-1 AP.
Yep.
So
you make it. And then the Plague Burst Mortar, heavy D6 shots, 1 shot, hitting on a 5, misses. Let's do the same with this one because there's only 2 dead so far, and I really need to, if I can't kill them all, I need to try and force the morale instead. So Entropy Cannons, hitting on 5s. Oh no, this one is injured. He is hitting on 6s actually, and that is a 6. He's down to a ballistic skill of 5 up, hitting you on a 6 because you're Raven Guard. So 1 hit, wounding on a 2, it doesn't wound. Plague Burst Mortar, 6 shots. I need 6s to hit. Everything misses. And let's do the Rot, Hail, Slugger, Thingy Bob Gun. 1 hit, 3s to wound. 1 wound, -1 AP, so a 3 up. Did you? I can't see. He passes. So only 2 Devastators died as they duck and cover. Right, let's move round here. I intend to charge these guys, so I'm going to use these Plague Marines to fire at these Intercessors. It is -1 to hit because you're more than 12 away, but you are within 18, and Death Guard rapid fire at 18, not 12. So here's the bolt guns. 4s to hit, 1 hit, 4s to wound, and that's a wound. You do get a 2-up save because you were in a... We're counting these as +1 save. That's a save. Now the plasma gun, which I'm overcharging. And I'm going to spend my first command point this turn, and I both miss. And then we have the blight launchers. 4s to hit, only 1 hit, strength 6, doesn't wound. So all the fire goes over their heads. Maybe I got a bit too cheeky there, so these guys will just... Yeah, let's unleash everything from them into these scouts. You are within 12. 2 of them have got plasma guns, so opening up with the plasma guns. 3s to hit. Didn't overcharge. 3s to wound. And that's a wound, killing a scout because it's -3 and scout armor is AP 4. And this one doesn't have the extra plasma gun on the sergeant, so there's just 3 bolt guns. 3s to hit. And 4s to wound. 1 more wound, 1 4-up save for a scout. And he passes, just 1 died there. And then this squad, which are full, which are fresh, are going to fire at him. So the plasma from my sergeant lets overcharge. And the sergeant's dead, and I've already spent my command point. That wasn't very clever, but it's very narrative. The gun is extremely old. He's been carrying it around since his plan. Bolt guns, 3s to hit. Everything hit. 4s to wound. Only 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves on the Reavers. And they pass. And then we have the blight launchers. And everything misses. So after all that shooting, I just killed myself. Okay, that wasn't very successful. Pistols from the sorcerers went down into them as well. That's the end of my shooting phase. Let's do some charges. I think what I'm going to have to do is both of these Plague Marines now are going to have to go into these Reavers. I can't have them rampaging along. I hoped to have killed some in the shooting phase, so this squad could have gone into the Scouts, and this squad could have gone into the Reavers, but I killed 1 Scout and 1 Reaver. That's simply not good enough. And then this squad will be going into these. Lord of Contagion into these Scouts here. And the Fetid Bloat Drone on the other side of the battle grid will be going into the Reavers. Right, let's do the Overwatch. There is a combi melter coming in.
No.
I breathe a sigh of relief. Do you want to chuck a grenade?
I'm actually...
What? Command point in it to get a 6? Go on then.
My last one.
It's your last command point.
No.
No, I like it though. Hero stuff. Chuck a grenade as well, because that could damage.
Crack grenade?
Yep. See, that does.
Yeah.
Strength 6, toughness 5.
3.
And you don't... Oh yeah, you do
Yes,
wound. And it's
strength
-1, so it becomes a 3-up. See, that works. And this does D3 damage. 2 damage, 2 disgusting the resilience. He takes 2 wounds. And then you've got 3 bolt guns as well.
Can the Scouts take him down? No.
No, 1 hit. No wound. He's got 3 wounds left. Does he make it in? 10. Yes, he does. Okay, then this unit of Plague Marines made it into the Scouts. Both of these made it into this unit of Reavers here. And the Bloat Drone on the other side of the battle grid made it into the Reavers, though I had to spend a command point to get in there. So I'm down to 2 command points. Nick's got 0 command points left. We're going on to the fight phase, and because I don't want him interrupting... Actually, no, you've got no command points left, so I can just crack on. So let's start with the Lord of Contagion up here. He's got 4 attacks, he hits on 2s, and he's got Death to the False Emperor, so that's 6 explodes. That many hits. And it's strength 6, so I wound on 3s.
3 dead.
And it's AP -3, yeah, 3 of them just get creamed. And then we're on to this unit. There is another Plague Marine under there. So minus the Sergeant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys hitting. 3s to hit, and 4s to wound with plague weapons because they're plague knives. 1 wound on Scout, sir.
He's fine.
He's fine, and then the Power Fist will punch away. 2 death to the False Emperor's 6s. Okay, so 3 punches with a power fist. Strength 8, toughness 4, wounds on 2s. And each of them does d3 damage at -3. Scouts have a 4-up save, so 3 of them just get punched to dust. And round here, right, this squad. Is the sergeant? One of them, the sergeant died. Which one did the sergeant die in? Yeah, this squad still has the sergeant. That's it, he just doesn't have a plasma gun. So they are swinging at the Reavers. 3s to hit. That's a 2. So 2 hits. Wounds on a 4. 1 wound. Oh, sorry, 2 wounds. What am I doing? There's definitely 2 wounds.
Well, that's 1 dead Reaver.
Yeah, 1 dead Reaver because 1 was on 1 wound left. There's the sergeant punching away. 4s to hit with his power fist. 1 hit. 2s to wound. 1 wound. 6-up save.
Nope.
And this does d6 damage. And that's another Reaver dead. And then this squad, which doesn't have a sergeant. There's only 5 of them. They hit on 3s. And death to the False Emperor. That's 5 hits. And they wound on 4s. And they reroll 1s. And there's only 2 wounds. And 1 more takes a wound. And that's it for that combat. So 2 Reavers have died, and then over here to the fetid bloat drone. He's got 3 attacks, he hits on 4s. And that's 2 hits. Strength 6. So I need 3s to wound, and it's a plague weapon. That's 2 wounds at -2. And you fail them both. And each of these does d3 damage. So the first one hurts 1, and I've got a command point left. How many have I killed in the shooting phase?
You killed.
No.
The psychic phase, you got 3 from that unit.
Actually, did he only have 1 wound?
Yeah.
Okay, so that 2 did kill 1, and then the other one does d3 off the table. Does 1. So I killed 1 and put 1 on 1 wound. So 4 died from this unit this turn. Maybe I'll hurt them in morale, and now you get to swing back. There's only 3 of these Reavers left that were brave enough to encroach on the Death Guard lines. They have met the end of all things. Can they do some damage? Reavers versus bloat drone. 3s to hit. And their strength 4 versus toughness 7. So 5s to wound. And you get only 1. It's 1 3-up save, which I make. So the Reavers didn't hurt him. And then the other combat you need to... Well, which one do you want to activate? We've got Reavers, we've got Scouts.
I'm going to go for the 2 scouts over here.
2 Scouts over there? Okay.
So we're all done.
You got a sergeant with 3 attacks plus the other guy.
Just 2 attacks from the sergeant.
Okay. 3s to hit.
Just 1 hit.
And 5s to wound.
Nope.
Nope. 2 scouts hitting the Plague Marines.
Sergeant's still alive. He does.
Yes, he has extra attack. Because he's a sergeant.
Oh, yeah.
So 1 hit, 5s to wound.
No.
No, nothing at all.
Going
And then the Reavers. Right, the sergeant has to fight this squad. He could fight this squad, but he is within an inch of someone who's within an inch here. So you're choosing to put the sergeant into that squad,
yep,
and all the other ones into this one where the plasma died, trying to force the morale. I like it. That sounds like tactics to me. So sergeant into that one.
3s to hit.
Yep. 2 hits.
5s to wound. 1 wound.
1 wound. He's done a damage. 3-up save. And I make it. And then we have all the other attacks. They have 3 attacks each, right? With the close combat.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. 15 attacks into the Plague Marines. This could sting. 3s to hit.
Oh no, my dice running.
No. Maybe it won't sting. No. 5s to wound. Because they are toughness 5.
4, 5 and 6s. No. 3.
3. Just 3. 3 3-ups. And that's as cocked as you like. Let's do that one again. And I fell up disgustingly resilient. No, you did kill 1, but they're leadership 8, so that won't be enough to force a morale there. And talking about morale, we've got the morale phase. So you lost 3 scouts. They're leadership 8.
Sergeant's still alive, so
yep.
So that's
they're
fine.
okay. 3 scouts over there. They're okay. And how many Reavers down this end did we lose?
We lost 4.
4.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Ooh, reroll. And they should know if it's 6 plus 4 is 10. Minus 8. Yeah, 2 more die, leaving you with 1 left.
Sergeant.
Just the sergeant.
Right
That
stand.
was brutal. But he's further than an inch away from this guy. So he's no longer in combat. So he can shoot and charge. And as for morale for me, I don't think I have any morale to take anywhere. Not only have I not got morale to take, but test, but I also didn't kill anything. And I made a couple of rookie mistakes. Look, I'm not on this objective here. In fact, I'm only on that objective and within 3 inches of that objective. So I only get 2 points. I didn't kill anything. I should have prosecuted harder at some of these units to kill them. I should have moved this launcher forward a little bit. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. The bloodlust of the Death Guard was up. They were too busy charging forward and shooting at these targets and forgetting the objectives, forgetting the orders that were coming down from high command, and instead only 2 points, which means it's 8 points to the Forces of Chaos, 11 points to the Imperium as we go into Raven Guard turn 3. The end of the movement phase, this Reaver, no longer within an inch of an enemy, has come this way. He can charge, he can shoot, he can charge, he's free to do what he wants. The Incestors, the Incestuous Squad, have advanced up the table, so they won't be firing this turn. But looking to get some ball control, because most of the Plague Marines are down this side of the battle grid. The Hellblasters moving up as well. Captain Lieutenants standing still to get their Stalker Pattern Bolt cannons in shot. And then round here, the Reavers have grapnel launchers, unlimited vertical movement, straight up to the top of the skyscraper there. Nice stuff, I like it. They won't be firing, but there's no way I'm going to be able to charge them up there. I'm going to have to shoot them off a bit, or they can stay there for the rest of the game. Scouts falling back, which means he's now got some choices between shooting Plague Marines or shooting Poxwalkers and getting those additional points in this Dominate and Destroy mission. The Raven Guard mean to make the Death Guard bleed. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Right, the Captain Lieutenant picked on the bloke drone, didn't do any damage. Now the Hellblasters overcharging their Plasma Exterminators one more time and picking on this Plague Hulk one more time. Plague Hulk, Plague Burst Crawler. There's 3 ones, but fortunately you're next to the Captain shouting, shoot it in the fuel pipe, and you get 3 hits. No ones. The Hellblaster's guns do not overheat. This is Strength 8 versus Toughness 8, so 4s, 2 wounds, 2 5-up demon saves. 1, 2. And I save 1, and it does 2 damage because it's overheated, so 5-up Disgustingly Resilience. And 1 more wound off the Crawler. They can't fire because they ram forward. You've still got 3 las cannons there. You took away the Sergeant. We did do the morale off camera because they're leadership 7 now. But where do you want your 3 las cannons to go?
Which one still is
that one's bracket? On 4 wounds. This one's on 5 wounds. They've both dropped a bracket now. 3 to 5 is their next bracket. So they're both going to be hitting on 6s when they shoot.
I'm going to go into the one on 5.
You going to go into this one?
Yeah.
3 las cannon shots?
Yep, no Sigma in it.
No, oh yeah, because the Sergeant's dead. 3s to hit.
All 3 hits.
And 3s to wound. Strength 9, toughness.
3 wounds.
Yeah, okay. 3 5-up demonic saves. I failed 2. 2d6 damage. Snake Eyes. And you've got no command points left. 2 Disgustingly Resilience. He's down to 3 wounds. That was unfortunate. Right, over here to the Intercessors. Firing at the Lord of Contagion. Danger close. They need to take him down. Here goes a grenade. And it hits and it will wound on a 3. Grenade goes off by his feet. 3-up save. No, it does d3 damage. He's only got 3 left. You do the full 3. Will he get to be taken out by a grenade? 5-up Disgustingly Resilient. No, he won't. He only takes a wound. He's down to 2. And now rapid firing a rifle death. 8 shots coming in. Hitting on 3s. And wounding on 5s. 5 hits there. 2 wounds. Found 2 weak spots. 2 3-up saves. 1 Disgustingly Resilient. He's on 1 wound left. What was that, Nick?
So considering he's only on 1 wound left, I might actually have to charge him.
Oh, bring it.
Clears the area out a little bit.
It would do, but interesting decisions. Can't fire with them, they fell back. They fell back. You've got these scouts.
Yep. So we're going to go Combi Melter.
Yep.
Into the closest unit there.
Oh, okay, and where are the other shots going?
The bolter shots.
All
are
of them
going
going
in
there as well.
too.
Okay, combi melter.
Hits on a 4.
That's a hit.
Wounds.
That's a wound. I don't get a save. It does d6 damage. I need 3 disgustingly resilience to keep 1 plague marine alive. Nearly did it. Okay, one of them dies, and then you've got all the bolter fire. Is that a normal guy? That is a normal guy. Then all the bolter fire, rapid firing.
So
that's good hitting.
They're angry.
They are angry. 5 to wound.
Only one.
Only 1 found a weak spot. 3 up save. Nope, just 1 got melted to slag. Last thing left to fire. The Contemptor Dreadnought. What does he want to hose down? Plague Marines or Poxwalkers? It would be nice if you could fire at him, but he's not the closest unit. The Poxwalkers are the closest unit.
Just because of the strength of the assault cannons, I think the assault cannons are going to go into the Plague Marines.
Yes.
I'm going to fire frag into
Ah,
the
okay.
Poxwalkers.
So exploding fragmentation grenades into the
Yeah.
Poxwalkers. 2d6 shots with a frag then. And that's 6 shots blowing up around them. You moved. It's a heavy, hitting on 3s. And it's strength 4, toughness 3, so wounding on 3s. So 4 shells blow up around them. 4 disgustingly resilience. And 4 of them go down. Nice. And then 12 shots as the guns spool up and stitch death in amongst the Plague Marines.
So 3.
3s to hit. It's heavy.
That's 8.
Strength 7, toughness 5.
3s to wound.
Yep. That's pretty good. I am in the cover, but there is one that's not. And it's -1, right?
Correct.
So thank you, sir.
Okay.
So this is 4 ups, because the entire unit is not in cover. And 5 ups, disgustingly resilient. Only 2 die. Only losing 2 there means I won't have to take a morale test. Won't have to take a morale test there. Bunch of guys died there. The Reaver fired in at these Poxwalkers as well, doing no damage. That's the end of the shooting phase. You are death by 1,000 cuts, really, nibbling away here, there, and everywhere. So, charges. Are you going to charge?
I am going to charge.
Really? I don't have any Overwatch. He's just got that big Plague Reaper.
So I actually need 9 inches for
Do you?
the vertical
Okay.
distance. So.
And that's an 8, and no command points left. They fail the charge.
And then the Reaver over the other side is going to charge the Poxwalker. Need a
Okay.
6 to get in.
And they make it in. They don't have any Overwatch, and I think that's it for charges. Unless you want to charge these scouts crazily into these with a power fist in that squad.
They're Raven Guard, they're a bit smarter than the usual.
Raven-
So, no, I'm fine.
Raven Guard are smarter than normal Space Marines.
Well,
They are actually. They are. The Raven Guard are the SAS of the Imperium, aren't they? They're the Strike from the Shadows ninja guys. Do you want to move them in?
sure.
I'm not going to be spending anything to interrupt here, so you can get to swing away first with the Sergeant. He's got 4 attacks. He hits on 3s and he wins on 3s.
That's 3 hits.
Yep.
And, only
Just
1
1
wound.
wound. 1 5 up, disgustingly resilient, which I fail. 1 dies. I'll strike you back. See if I can take you down. 5s to hit. And 5s to wound. No, I can't take you down. That's it. I think that's it. There's no more combats anywhere. Did you kill anything? No, you didn't kill anything. And as I mentioned, no morale test to make, so it just comes down to these objectives. You've still got that one, you've still got that one, and you're on that one there. So that's 3 objectives, getting you up to 14 points to 8 as we go into Death Guard, turn 3. The end of all things are advancing. Plague Marines here gonna shoot up. Plague Marines gonna shoot the scouts. Sorcerers staying there, ready to Malefic Plague cast on the Reavers up here. They're still in smite range. There's a point there. Interestingly, I can charge in with the Man Reaper in this way. Man Reaper, Plague Reaper, Lord of Contagion against these scouts, and probably definitely get this. But it leaves me open to the shots from them. Or I could, on 1 wound left, try and charge the intercessors, which is not a guaranteed kill. But if I get through them, then I could kill them and them. I don't know which way to go yet. I think I might try and do the hero thing and go for the intercessors, which is not viable. I should really do the scouts. See, I've talked myself out of it already. Plague Marines on them. Over here, Fluffy's come forward. He's out of the compound, so I have line of sight on that last Reaver because there's a point right there. And the Poxwalker's pulling forward. I need to make sure that there's some things in front of Fluffy, otherwise he's going to get shot at. And I figure the Poxwalkers and the Fetid Bloat Drone are dead, so they might as well move forward and start engaging the Hellblasters and Intercessors on this side of the line. So that's my thinking, spreading out everywhere, all across the line, trying to do some damage. Let's start off in the Psychic phase with a Demon Prince casting Smite. And that passes, and it will do D3 mortal wounds on that Sergeant. And that's a dead Sergeant. The last of the Reavers on the left flank has fallen. And I did do -1 to hit and increased strength and everything on the spells on these guys last turn, and I completely forgot about it during the fight phase. So I'm trying not to forget about it this time. So let's do it again. -1 to hit them. A Miasma of Pestilence fails, and he will smite the Reavers on top of the building. And that passes, doing D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound, and 1 was on a wound. So that kills a Reaver. Let's do +1 strength, +1 toughness on... They're probably going to get lit up, so I'm going to do it on them. It is 18-inch range. That passes, it's a warp charge value of 6. So they are toughness 6. And smite the Reavers. And that passes, I just need a 5. D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. So that's 2 Reavers done. That's the Psychic phase done. Now let's shoot the Reavers. Stormbolter from the Rhino did nothing. Now we've got 3 rapid fire bolters going up at the Reavers, hitting on 3s. I am in rapid fire range because they're Death Guard. Wounding on 4s. That's 3 wounds. They've got a 2-up save because they're at the top of the building there. Doing no damage at all. And then we have the Blight Launchers going in. Assault 2 guns. Hitting on 3s. That's 3 hits. Strength 6, toughness 4. 3 wounds at -2, but +1 for the building, so you need 4-ups. And you fail all of them. Each of these does D3 damage, so the first Reaver is still alive, and that will kill 1 Reaver, and then the second one, because that's 1 damage plus 3 damage is 4, but it doesn't spill over. And that kills 2 Reavers, so 4 Reavers have died, which is interesting because the morale phase might sting. Right, now we're on to these Plague Marines. There's 2 plasma guns in that squad, and this guy hasn't. No, that sergeant doesn't. I'll fire the bolters into the scouts and the 2 plasma up there. And because it's 18-inch rapid fire, because I'm Death Guard, I get 4 shots. So the plasma up at the Reavers.
Are you overcharging?
I am overcharging, always overcharged. The guns are 10,000 years old. What could possibly go wrong? One of them dies. Strength 8. They all wound at -3 AP, but you're in cover, so 5-up saves. And you fail 2. Each does 2 damage. The Reavers have fallen, but I lose one of my guys. And then rapid fire death into them. 3s to hit. And 4s to wound. No wounds. The scouts live. Okay. On to these guys here. That sergeant has got a plasma on his back. He has got plasma on his back. Yes, he has got plasma on his back. Firing everything at them. He is overcharging. What could possibly go wrong? 3s to hit. He does it. Command point. Okay, so he's not dead. He will wound on a 2. That's a wound. You have +3 to your... +2. So you're on 2 up. That's a -3, so you're on a 5-up. 5-up? No. Kills a thingy bob. And then let's do the 2 blight launchers. 1, 2 blight launchers. And 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Does wound. -2, so you're on a 4-up, which you pass. Okay. Rapid fire bolt gun. 1 hit. 1 wound. 2-up save. Scout is still alive. I'm going to have to charge him. I think that's all the shots over here. That is all the shots over here. Let's fire the Plague Burst Crawlers one more time at that squad of Devastators because they're scary. The only thing is now, I would be hitting on 5s, but I'm going to be hitting on 6s instead. I might be out of range of Fluffy. No, I'm okay. This one will be out of range. Let's do the 5-shot weapon first. Hitting on 6s, re-rolling 1s because of Fluffy. 1 hit, strength 5. Does a wound. It's -1, but you're in cover, so 3 up. Oh, I kill 1. Didn't expect that to happen. The 2 entropy cannons. Re-rolling hit rolls of 1. Miss. The plague burst mortar is d6 shots. 1 shot, hitting on a 6. Misses. Okay, nothing. This one doing the same thing. The 5-shot volley gun. Hitting on 6s, re-rolling 1s. Nothing. The 2 entropy cannons. Hitting on 6s. I'm not re-rolling 1s. What am I doing? I'm cheating. And then the plague burst crawler. d6 shots. That's 5 shots. Hitting on 6s. 1 hit. Strength 8. Toughness 4. Wounding on 2s. That's a wound. And it's minus, I don't know. -2. So a 4-up save in amongst the ruins. And another one dies. So I killed 2. I think I fired everything. Oh no, fetid bloat drone in here. 2d6 shots. That's a 5 and a 2. That's 7 shots. 7 shots into the incest doors. 3s to wound. It's a plague weapon. That's good. Everything wounds. So 7 wounds at -1 at the intercessors. 4 ups. And only 1 takes 1 wound. They walk through fire or plague filth spewing all over them. That's the end of the shooting phase. Got some charges coming up here. Okay, the bloat drone made it into combat there. No wounds taken on Overwatch. This squad made it in with the scouts. These plague marines made it in with the scouts. And my Lord of Contagion made it in over here. So starting with this combat here, the Lord of Contagion has 4 attacks and he gets on 2s. And those 2 6s explode because of death to the False Emperor. So 5 hits out of 4, not bad. Wounding on 3s, and it's a plague weapon, and they're dead because it's -3. I'll start over here with the sergeant. He's the champion. 4s to hit with his fist, 2 hits, 2s to wound, 2 wounds, and that scout sniper is dead as well. Then I'll activate over here to make sure he piles in. And do this attack. 2 hits with the normal marines. 1 hit. Wounds on a 4. Doesn't wound. Now the fists. 2 hits plus death to the False Emperor. 3 hits with the power fist. 2s to wound. 3 more scouts die because it's -3. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Now we're all the way over here with the Poxwalkers. And I did it off camera because I didn't think I would kill very much, but between the Poxwalkers and the bloat drone, I took down 3 intercessors. Who would have thought it? Now you get to strike back. You've got 2 intercessors left here, and a scout at the other side of the table. There's a sergeant and another dude, so that's 5 attacks. Who are you putting on? The Poxwalkers? There's a free point there, mate.
I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
When do you get your plague zombie? Is it
Plague zombie?
You just killed. You killed 1.
Oh yeah, 1 Poxwalker killed 1, so there'll be 1 coming back in this group. We'll do it in a minute.
At the end of the turn, or?
I'm not sure. 3s to hit. That's good. 3s to wound.
That's worse.
3 wounds. 3 fire up disgustingly resilience. 3 of them die, leaving 1 left, but 1 of them killed an intercessor. So I'll just take 2 away. And the last Sergeant Scout over here trying to take out these Plague Marines. 3s to hit.
No.
No.
He's scared.
And is he scared? Indeed. That's the end of my turn. So we have got some morale test. And you lost 3 here. And he holds. He holds. Over here you lost 2 of them. Yeah, a 6 and he's in trouble. Nope.
5.
And you lost 3 intercessors. Yeah, you'll lose some more. You need to re-roll that. 5 plus 3 is 8. They are leadership 8. They hold. So no fair morale across the table. But the end of all things, hit and hit back hard that turn. Right, at the end of that turn, I killed scouts, reavers, and the reaver over there. So that's 4 things. And I control 1, 2, 3 objectives. So that's 7 points. Suddenly, the end of all things are in the lead. It's 15 points to 14. It could not be closer. As we go to Ravengard, Turn 4. We're now on the Raven Guard turn, and looking across the board, I'm surprised. You're surprised too.
I'm very surprised.
You're running out of assets. All of a sudden, that was a brutal turn. These guys are definitely going to get a point at the end of the turn, and I'm going to try and kill this Lord of Contagion who's on one wound left, the last of the Brothers Grimm. It's bound to happen. That'll get you 2 points there. The Contemptor moving forward to take this objective, so long as he hoses down the Poxwalkers, because they do have objective secured. One last cannon left. Did you move the lieutenant and the captain?
Yes.
Did they move this turn? They did.
Slightly shuffled right to get a shot, just to give my avenues a bit better.
The Intercessor's breaking out of combat, and there's a squad of Hellblasters there looking mean. And that's it. That's it. But you should be able to kill a couple of things. Just 2 Poxwalkers there, the Lord of Contagion. You are spread out on a number of objectives now. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Alright, starting off the shooting phase, Hellblasters overcharging. Your guns are not 10,000 years old, and there's the captain stood next to you telling you to shoot it in the head. We're shooting at the Poxwalkers.
Shooting in the plague drone.
You can shoot at the 2 Poxwalkers.
No, just the plague drone.
Just
If he explodes, he might do some extra damage. Oh, there's so many ones.
How many ones? Is that 3 ones?
3 ones.
Re-rolling ones. One of the Hellblasters' guns does overheat. The other ones hit, though. Strength 8, toughness 7. 3's to wound. Re-rolling ones. That's okay. How much you get in the end?
5.
5 demonic saves. I only make 2. I've got 3 left. So that's 2 damage each. 6 disgustingly resilience. It's a 10 wound model. Only take 3 wounds.
No, I need to do that again.
Why?
Because it's 12 damage.
Was it 12? Oh yeah. 3, you're right. 3 and 4 is 7. I take 7 wounds. So 3 wounds left, sorry about that. Brain fart. Onto the Devastator?
Last cannon, yeah.
Okay.
Last cannon into the bloat drone.
Oh, and he misses.
And it's a 2.
Fires wide. Right, now onto the Lord of Contagion. You absolutely must kill this guy because he will hurt you in close combat. Grenade. And the grenade hits. Wounds on a 3. Grenade goes off by his feet. He doesn't like grenades. 3 up save. He walks through fire this time round, so you're going to have to shoot him to death instead. And that's pretty good. 6 hits. 5's to wound. 2 wounds at -1. 2 3 up saves. And he saves them both. You don't manage to penetrate the armour. Could be in trouble there. Right, you've got your captain and lieutenant with their Stalker pattern bolt guns. You've got your Contemptor Dreadnought. You've got a sergeant who can shoot one of these with a pistol.
Yeah,
that might happen. 3 up?
Nope.
No, that isn't going to happen. I'm sorry.
Okay. No.
Contemptor. See, this is because do you hose them all down? Do you put some shots into the Plague Marines as well? What do you do? It's target priorities is a thing.
Yeah.
So in the end, choosing fragmentation grenades on the Poxwalkers and assault cannons on the Plague Marines.
So how many shots do the frag missiles get?
7. That's statistically average. 7 shots coming in, hitting on 3s, and you'll be wounding on 3s. And that's good hitting. 6 hits. 3's to wound.
3.
Only 3 wounds. 3 disgustingly resilience. 3 of them die though. There's only 2 left. And now you've got 12 assault cannon shots coming into the Plague Marines. 3's to hit. And that's a lot of 1s. Strength 7, toughness 5, 3's to wound. And it's -1 AP. So it's all 3 up saves on these guys. And disgustingly resilient. And the Plague Marines, it just shoots bits of pus and filth off of them. It doesn't kill them. Right, the last thing left to fire, the captain and lieutenant shooting the bloat drone.
Bloat drone, yeah. So
Captain firing away.
Captain, rerolling 1s.
Rerolling 1s, yeah. No, lieutenant.
Hitting on 3.
He hits, winning on a 5. No. And that's the end of the shooting phase for the Raven Guard. It was disappointing. What are we doing now?
Charging.
Charging.
So,
for the Emperor. So the intercessors engage the Lord of Contagion in close combat. Then round here, the Hellblasters charging in to the Poxwalkers, but staying back like that to still get that objective at the end of this turn. So now we go into the fight phase. What do you want to do first?
I think it's got to be the epic battle.
I think it's got to be this battle. 3s to hit, 5s to wound. He's got 1 wound left. You need to take him out because otherwise it's going to be game changing.
So hitting on 3s. That's a lot of ones.
That is for 5 1s.
Hits.
5 hits, 5s to wound.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. Can this be it? 2 up saves. I fail 1. I've got 1 command point left. Now, am I really, really mean and spend my last command point, or do I rely on disgustingly resilient?
Reroll it. You know you want it.
I'm going to spend my last command point to reroll this save. And I save. And the Lord of Contagion holds firm. Now the Contemptor, 4 attacks, 2s to hit. There's a couple more ones. It's strength 7, so you're 2s to wound. And only 1 wound, and there is 2 Poxwalkers left, 5 up disgustingly resilient. And those 2 Poxwalkers hold firm, and I objective secure that one. And now you've got some Hellblasters hitting 2 Poxwalkers over there. This is going to work a bit better, right? This is... No?
Maybe?
Are you trying to tie up the bloat drone and you're staying away from it? Oh yeah, staying away from it. Okay, so 3 of them there.
So 2 attacks each.
Yep.
Hit with 3s. Oh my god.
Your dice rolling has just abandoned
Deteriorated.
you. 2 wounds. And 1 of them passes a disgustingly resilient save, so 1 of them is left. Just 1. And he will strike you back on 5s. And 5s doesn't wound. These 2 chaps here will strike that back on 5s. And 6s doesn't hurt the Contemptor. And now my Lord of Contagion will strike these intercessors on 2s. 3 hits. And on 3s. 3 wounds at -3.
6 up saves. Nope.
And 3 of them fall down. And then we forgot about this scout here. We just did him. He didn't do any wounds to my Plague Marines, and I smushed him with my Power Fist, and that's the end of your turn 4. I'm not sure if you killed anything. You got a morale test to make here. Don't roll a 6. And re-roll it with Unleash No Fear. So they hold. I don't know if you killed anything. These Poxwalkers are still hanging in here. There's 1 Poxwalker left with the fetid bloat drone over there. And I don't think you killed anything. But you do get 1, 2, 3 objectives. So that's 3 points. Yeah? But I did kill your scout. So that's a point. So that makes it 17 points to the Raven Guard, 16 points to the Death Guard as we go on to turn 4. In the movement phase, it's quite simple. There's a noose closing around this Contemptor Dreadnought here. It's got 10 wounds, 3 up save, and it'll be attracting a lot of firepower. The Lord of Contagion staying in close combat there. The Plague Burst Crawlers moved forward, so I would be hitting on 5s. Because I'm wounded, I'm hitting on 6s, and because I'm firing at Raven Guard, I'm hitting on 7s. So it's not shooting this turn, but I need to take that point because Fluffy, the Demon Prince, is charging forward. If I can't kill him by shooting him, I mean to hit him with my sword. So now let's go on to the psychic phase and start off by casting Smite. And that's 9, that passes D3 mortal wounds. That's 3 mortal wounds on the Dreadnought. Smite with the next one, that's an 11. So this is D6 mortal wounds. And that's 3 more mortal wounds on the Contemptor Dreadnought, and then Smite on the last Malignant Plaguecaster. That's a 12. That's a Perils, and I have no command points left, so I take D3 damage. So he takes 2 wounds, which I can have Disgustingly Resilient for, which I fail. I think he's got 3 left, or 2 left, I'll check in a minute. And this does D6 damage as well.
4 will kill it.
That's a 4. Have I just smitten you to death?
You have smitten my Dreadnought to death.
No. Okay, blows up on a 6.
No.
And it does not blow up. So, yeah, that happened. So the Dreadnought's gone down. It makes Fluffy very angry. He can't smack anything with his sword. And all the Plague Marines suddenly don't have line of sight or range to anything. But at least the Dreadnought has fallen. So now let's do some shooting. This last Plague Burst Crawler is going to try and take on that last Devastator. 6s to hit with the Entropy Cannons. No. D6 with the Plague Burst Mortar. 3 shots hitting on 6s. No. And then the volley gun, I've got 5 shots. I need to roll 1 more dice. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Doesn't wound. He's okay. And then 2d6 auto hits with the Plague Spitters on the Incestors. That's 9 hits. Strength 5 right now because I'm injured. So still wounding on 3s. It is a plague weapon. Wow. And that's 8 wounds at -1. 8 4-up saves.
And that's a dead Intercessor
And that's
squad.
a dead Intercessor squad. And that's the end of the shooting phase. And the psychic phase, I said everything out of range. So now we are going to assault. So Lord of Contagion into these Intercessors, hitting on 2s and wounding on 3s with his Plague Reaper, which is rerolls to wound. 3 wounds, 3 6-up saves, or it does a flat 3 damage each.
Need 2 6s, otherwise they're
Yep.
dead. That is a dead squad.
So all the Intercessors fall. That is the end of turn 4 for the Death Guard. And all you have left is a Captain, a Lieutenant, and a Hellblaster squad. Last turn, the Death Guard scores 7 points, so it's 23 points to 17. Now the Hellblasters have moved forward around here, followed by the Captain and Lieutenant, and that is it for the movement for the Raven Guard. Right, what are you shooting, Nick?
Going to start off, probably not with the las cannon.
Nope.
Because if that explodes, it's going to do a lot of damage.
1 damage. When they go pop, they only do 1 damage, mortal wound.
True.
On a 4-up.
True.
7-inch range though, when they go pop. Nurgle's number.
Right, first up, Lieutenant
Lieutenant?
into the Poxwalker.
Yep, there is 1 Poxwalker there. Yep. Hitting on a 4. That's a hit. Wounds on a 3.
Reroll because of him.
Yes.
That is a wound.
5 up. Disgustingly resilient. No, there's a point. You did kill the Poxwalker. Next, las cannon into the Plague Drone.
Hitting on 3.
I can't see what you got. Yep, that's a hit. Wounds on a 3.
So
That does a wound. 6 up in Van. 5 up in Van, what I'm talking about. No. And it only does 1 damage. 1 disgustingly resilient, which I save anyway to add insult to injury.
So trying to maximise points potential.
Yeah.
These are going to split fire.
Yep.
2 of them are going to overcharge into the bullet drone.
Yep.
And 2 of them are going to just fire normally into the Poxwalkers at the back.
I like it.
So, overcharged into the bullet drone.
Yes.
All hit.
Everything hit. Nice. And 3
3
wounds. 3 in buns. And 2 get through. So that is 4 damage, right?
Correct.
So 4 disgustingly resilience. And it is gone. And it blows up on a 4. And it does blow up, causing everything within 7 inches 1 mortal wound. We'll figure that out after we do the damage to these guys. So you're definitely in rapid fire range.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
3s to hit. Rerolling 1s, because the Captain's right there. Just 2 hits. 2s to wound.
1 wound.
Wasn't it 2 hits?
Just 1.
Was it?
Yeah.
Disgustingly resilient. Kills 1. Okay, the bloke drone blew up. The Captain was injured. One of the Hellblasters was injured. One of these guys was hurt by the Hellblasters, as we saw, and then the Captain fired in and he didn't damage them. And that's the end of turn 5 for the Raven Guard. They get 1-2 points for holding on to these 2 objectives, and they kill the Poxwalker and they kill the bloke drone, so that is 4 points. With the little assets that they have, they do score a number of points. It's certainly valiant stuff as we head towards the end game now. It's 21 points to the Raven Guard, 23 points to the Death Guard. So we're going to Death Guard turn 5. In the movement phase, basically everything down this side of the battle grid, advancing forward up the table. And that's it. Everything's out of psychic range. Firing the 2 Blight launchers at that Devastator. We did advance, so it's -1 to hit. They're Raven Guard, so it's -2 to hit. So I'm hitting on 5s. And I get 1 hit. I'm wounding on a 3. And I don't wound. And then we'll open up with the Blight Haulers again one more time at that Devastator. I called them something else, but the Plague Burst Crawler, one of them managed to kill that Devastator, so the other one fired at the Hellblaster squad, killing one in the Hellblaster squad, and that's the end of my turn 5. And I currently control 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives, and I killed a Devastator, so that's 5 points, bringing the end of all things score up to 28 points versus the Raven Guard's 21 points as we end turn 5. Now, this game will end on a 1-2, unless you wish to concede, because
Raven Guard never concede.
I like it. So roll a dice, and this is the way the world ends. And so at the end of turn 5, it is a Death Guard victory. One of the Brothers Grimm stands victorious, looking over the ruined streets of Babington 9, and the Raven Guard have been pushed back. We have 3 Hellblasters and the captain and the lieutenant. They will retreat from here, wondering what happened. And I was just having a long discussion with Nick there. We wondered what happened as well. You said it was like hitting an anvil. I think your Reavers came in and bounced, and the charges that were failed down here with Shrike not getting into combat and that lieutenant getting into combat, but then disgustingly resilient holding firm. So the Thunderhammer just sort of bounced. You bounced off an anvil on the right and the left flank. And at the end of the game, the Plague Marines are pushing forward. Every single time I play with these guys, they just surprise me at how disgustingly resilient they are. There's a scary number of them. Okay, so what we think would have been a better placement for the Raven Guard would have been to come down with the 20 Reavers down this side and maybe the aggressors up here and just swing from one side to the other rather than going right and left. Overwhelming force on one side of the battle grid with the Devastators and the Hellblasters here. Remember, apart from the long range guns of the mortars back there, most of my army would have been short range and would have been stuck on this side of the battle grid. So more effective placement maybe could have helped. I don't know. That was just a strange game. At the end, don't know what to say really. The end of all things are victorious. The Death Guard just stupidly resilient. So this battle mat comes from gamemat.eu. The buildings come from Zen Terrain. I want to thank all my patrons for supporting me. Thank you very much. You can find Winters SEO on Facebook. Thank you, Nick, for coming down.
Anytime.
And thank you everyone for watching. Happy wargaming.